ready to face whatever lay ahead. A pale, bald, hunched-over figure was sitting on a throne inside the fortress. It cackled as I walked in. A disgusting cackle. Then suddenly it got up and started running towards me, in a speed that it didn't seem like it should be able to reach. I stumbled back, caught off guard by the sudden movement of its... Hello and welcome to Stories with Daniel A. Johnson. I'm your host, Daniel A. Johnson, and this is another collaborative story written by me and ChatGPT. Same as the last story, stick around until after the end and listen to me talk a little bit about this story, the process of making it, and my success with what I was trying to do. But without further ado, sit back, relax, grab a hot drink or a cold one, and Dave, you really need to put on a headset. I really hope you all enjoyed this story. Using the prompt, let's write the story together, a few sentences at a time. I'll start. A tree in the middle of a dense forest lit up. The light emanating from the tree was a soft golden glow that seemed to dance among the leaves, casting intricate shadows on the forest floor. As I approached the tree, I noticed something unusual at its base. A small, intricately carved wooden box. Curiosity getting the better of me, I reached down and picked up the box. A branch cracked. I felt a cold shiver down my back. Startled, I spun around to see if anyone was there. The forest was silent, except from the rustling of leaves in the gentle breeze. I turned my attention back to the box in my hand, and my fingers traced its intricate carvings on its surface. As I opened the box, a blinding light erupted from within, enveloping me completely. The next thing I knew, I was standing in a completely different place, a vast open plain with no sign of the forest or the tree. As I gazed at my surroundings, I noticed that the grass beneath my feet was a brilliant shade of blue, and the sky above was a deep crimson hue. I felt a sense of unease wash over me, as if I had stumbled upon a place that was not meant for human eyes. Just then, I heard a voice whisper in my ear. "You have been chosen, traveller. You are the only one who can save us." Startled, I turned around to see a figure cloaked in shadow, beckoning me to follow them into the unknown. "Who are you?" I asked. "How can I save you? I'm but a simple man trapped into a dense forest." The figure replied, "I am the guardian of this realm. You are not just an ordinary man. You possess a rare gift that can help us defeat the darkness that is threatening to consume this world." I was taken aback, unsure of what the figure meant by gift. But before I could ask any more questions, the figure vanished into thin air, leaving me alone on the blue grassy plains. I had a sinking feeling that my simple trek to the forest was about to turn into an extraordinary adventure. I walked for miles upon miles, the landscape looking almost identical no matter how far I walked. Then I fell to the ground, exhausted. I flipped over on my back, and in the distance I could hear hooves, but there was no horse. It was like no creature I ever seen before. As the sound of hooves grew louder, I scrambled to my feet, my heart pounding in my chest. Then out of the corner of my eye I caught a glimpse of movement. Turning towards the source of the noise, I gasped in disbelief at what I saw. A magnificent creature was galloping towards me. It was like nothing I've ever seen before. It had the body of a horse, but its coat was shimmering iridescent blue, and its long flowing mane and tail was made of what appeared to be starlight. The creature skidded to a stop in front of me, its fiery eyes peering into my soul. "I've been sent to guide you, traveller," it said in a voice that was both soothing and powerful. "You possess a gift of pure intention, and with that you can overcome any obstacle." Without another word, the creature beckoned me to climb onto its back. As I did, a surge of energy coursed through me, and I felt as if I could conquer anything. The creature then took off at breakneck speed, and we soared across the plains towards the unknown destination. I had a dream once that my drama teacher said I had no intention. I guess that wasn't true. As you clung to the shimmering creature, you couldn't help but wonder about the meaning of that dream. However, the rush of wind on your face and the incredible sensation of flight pushed all other thoughts aside. You and the creature raced across the otherworldly landscape, passing through valleys and over mountains, until finally you saw a towering fortress in the distance. The creature slowed down as it approached the fortress, and you could see that it was surrounded by a dark, ominous fog. "This is where our journey begins," said the creature. "You must enter the fortress and retrieve a key to unlocking the source of the darkness. You are the only one who can do this." Without hesitation, you dismounted the creature's back and approached the fortress. The gates were locked tight, but with a deep breath you summoned all your intention and pushed against them with all your might. To your surprise, the gates cracked open, and you stepped inside, ready to face whatever lay ahead. A pale, bald, hunched-over figure was sitting on a throne inside the fortress. It cackled as I walked in. A disgusting cackle. Then suddenly it got up and started running towards me, in a speed that it didn't seem like it should be able to reach. I stumbled back, caught off guard by the sudden movement of this pale creature. As it ran towards me, I could see that its skin was stretched tight over its bones, and its eyes glowed with an otherworldly light. With a snarl, it lunged towards me, its sharp claws extended. Instinctively, I dodged to the side, narrowly avoiding the attack. I'd never been in a fight before, but something about this creature's malevolent energy fueled my determination to win. I raised my fist in the air and stepped forward, ready to face the creature head-on. The creature hissed, baring its fangs. It was clear that this wasn't going to be an easy battle. However, as we circled each other, I noticed that the creature seemed to be growing weaker with every passing moment. It was almost as if my intention was draining its power. With renewed confidence, I launched myself at the creature, landing a powerful blow to its side. It stumbled back, its eyes widening in surprise, and then with a final roar, the creature dissolved into a cloud of black mist, leaving behind only a small glowing key. I picked up the key, a sense of relief washing over me, but I knew that this was only the beginning. There were still many more challenges ahead. I looked around for a lock, and I spotted it. It was a green lock, overgrown in plants. I pushed the key inside the lock and turned it. Suddenly, I was standing in the middle of a lush jungle. What would my task be now? As I took in my surroundings, I couldn't help but feel a sense of awe. The jungle was teeming with life. Colorful birds flitted through the trees, monkeys chattered in the distance, and exotic flowers bloomed in every direction. However, my wonders were short-lived, as a low growl caught my attention. I turned to see a massive tiger padding towards me, its amber eyes fixed on me with an intense gaze. I froze, unsure what to do. The tiger was easily twice my size, and I had no weapons to defend myself. But as the tiger drew closer, I realized that it didn't seem to be hostile. It simply circled me, sniffing the air before sitting down with a grunt. I cautiously approached the tiger, extending my hand to pet its head. To my surprise, the tiger nuzzled against my hand, as if seeking affection. It was clear that this was no ordinary jungle, and that the creature's hair were not to be feared. As I continued to explore, I soon came across a village of indigenous people who welcomed me with open arms. They explained that the jungle was under threat from a powerful force, and that I was the only one who could stop it. With renewed purpose, I set out to complete my task. It was clear that my journey was far from over, and that there were many more challenges ahead. But with the help of the jungle's inhabitants, I felt ready to take on whatever lay ahead. Deep in the jungle was a cave that none of the villagers dared to enter. Those who had tried had either not returned, or were too damaged by what was inside that they couldn't speak. I knew that my next challenge was hidden inside a cave, so I grabbed some supplies and headed towards the cave. But not before having a big meal, because I hadn't eaten in hours, and I knew that I needed to be at my best to face whatever lay ahead. As I approached the mouth of the cave, I could feel the hairs on the back of my neck standing on end. The air was thick with an ominous energy, and the darkness within the cave seemed to swallow the light. Taking a deep breath, I stepped inside the cave, my heart pounding in my chest. The floor was slick with moisture, and the walls dripped with a dark, sticky substance. As I made my way deeper into the cave, I heard a low, growling sound from somewhere up ahead. I pressed on, determined to face whatever lay ahead. Finally, I reached a large cavern, where a monstrous creature stood guard. It was easily twice my size, with scales as black as night and teeth as sharp as knives. The The creature let out a deafening roar, and I braced myself for the fight of my life. But as we circled each other, I realized that the creature was not my enemy. In fact, it seemed almost friendly. With a sense of relief, I realized that the creature was simply guarding a treasure trove of ancient artifacts. And with my new ally by my side, I knew that I would be able to claim these treasures and continue on my journey with renewed confidence. As I made my way out of the cave, I couldn't help but reflect on the incredible journey that had brought me here. From the dense forest to the lush jungle and now into the depths of a mysterious cave. I had faced challenges after challenges, but I had emerged stronger and more determined than ever to complete my task. "And that's why I'm late, Mr. Elliot," Jonathan said. Mr. Elliot looked at the boy inside. "And that's why you're in detention this afternoon, Jonathan." Jonathan hung his head in disappointment, knowing that he would have to spend the rest of the afternoon in detention instead of enjoying his free time. As he walked to his desk, he couldn't help but feel a sense of frustration. It wasn't fair. He had been on an incredible adventure, one that few people would ever experience, and yet he was being punished for it. But as Mr. Elliot began the lesson, Jonathan slowly realized that detention wasn't the end of the world. In fact, it gave him a chance to reflect on his journey and to think about all the things that he had learned. As he sat at his desk, scribbling notes in his notebook, Jonathan couldn't help but smile. He had faced incredible challenges, but had emerged stronger and more confident and more determined than ever to take on whatever lay ahead. As he walked out of detention that afternoon, he knew that he had a whole lifetime of adventures waiting for him. From the dense forest to the lush jungle and beyond, there was a whole world out there to explore, and he was ready for it. The end. Thank you very much for listening. Click the subscribe button like you're picking up a newborn kitten, and gently place your mouse over the bell and then press it down until it stops ringing. Welcome to the end of this video. What a journey. In this story, I was trying to see where ChatGPT would take a more surreal prompt. All I gave it was that a tree in the middle of a forest lit up, and it made a teleporting box, which is oddly similar to what me and two of my classmates made during one of the storytelling sessions at LIPA. A story that fell apart when I said that they were teleported to a future version of London, and they were greeted by someone voiced by me, who my classmate said sounded a lot like a farmer, and she didn't understand what he was doing in future London. What I was going for was gruff, because this was supposed to be an apocalyptic future London, and who knows, maybe it was the farmer apocalypse. But we never got to that part, so yeah. The weirdest thing though is one of the classmates I made this story with had a dream that our teacher told her she had no intention. So it's just an odd coincidence that ChatGPT created a teleporting box and a character with the power of intention. I'm not saying that it's listening in. I'm also not saying that. Maybe this is a scientific concept that if you put some people together and tell them to write a story, they will eventually make a teleporting box. I don't have much to add to this section. In this story I kind of just let ChatGPT do its thing, and I didn't really push in any directions. It was me though who created that shitty "it was all dream" ending, and ChatGPT was like, nah, that is not how we're ending this, suggesting that all that happened before our character met Mr. Elliot really happened. And I agree with ChatGPT on this one. I should have found a way better way to. Bye!